direct sales to me is about prioritizing your life around your business, not your business around your life, right?
Yeah,
So it can ebb and flow. And like you said, as long as you're aware and you're not saying, well, why didn't I sell $2,000 this month? Well, because you prioritized life, right? You had events that you had to attend and your business took the back seat. But what I also love is that when you're ready, you just pick it up and go, right?
exactly.
Welcome to the Other 99% podcast. I'm your host, Lisa Duck, a coffee-loving direct sales enthusiast who's obsessed with a good digital system. Come join me for a realistic look into the world of direct sales. We'll explore inspiring perspectives, learn about unique business tips, and celebrate success stories that often go untold. Because on the Other 99%, every seller matters.
Hey everyone, it is me, Lisa, and welcome back to another episode of The Other 99%. I'm here with our co-host, Susan Larimer, and we have a special guest with us today, Emily. And Emily, I just want to jump in and ask you to tell the listeners who you are, what you do, and anything you want to share about you.
Okay. Yeah, my name is Emily Munns. I actually grew up in Minnesota, in a suburb outside of St. Paul. Over 11 years ago, I got the opportunity to move to Florida. So
Nice.
that's where I am, just outside of Jacksonville, Florida. I moved for a previous role that I was in, and still here 11 years later. It's fun to have a nice warm spot to have people come visit. I do travel quite often back to Minnesota to be with friends and family for all the events and things of that nature. So I work full time outside of direct sales. I'm actually in a transition period as I got laid off last fall, but still working through that. But I am also in direct sales and have been in direct sales since 2019.
And what company are you with?
I am with Norwex, and then I also started with Zaya Activewear a few years later.
You got in just before the crazy pivot, right?
Yeah, it was September of 2019, so I had a couple months underneath my belt, and then it was quite crazy what happened thereafter.
Nice. So Emily was one of our winners from the 100th episode. We had close to like $1,000 of prizes to give away, right, Lisa?
It was crazy amount of stuff
Yeah.
we gave away. Yeah.
So Emily was the winner of lemongrass spa products with me. So I had fun picking products out for her that I tried to find products that didn't overlap with Norwex too much because I know you have some skincare and some body care products also. So it was fun for me to be able to give that to Emily, connect with her. And then I'm like, hey, you want to be a guest on our podcast? And she said, absolutely. So we are thrilled to have you.
Yeah, thank you so much for the invite. And I've been able to use some of the products already, and it's been fun just to, again, kind of be exposed to other companies within direct selling. I love how we're all like similar, but we also have our unique strengths as well.
Yeah, awesome.
All right. So I know that you're a system girl or you love systems and you work outside or like have the full-time job. So you're probably more into making things systematic so they run smooth and, keep everything going. Give us a little bit of a look in behind Emily's world about, how do you use that systems in terms of connecting with customers and stuff like that?
So I will say it took me a couple years to actually start what I would say a good follow-up system. So I decided to go with Project Broadcast as a way to have a very effective follow-up system. So I remember the days of sitting and, kind of self-training, but Project Broadcast has just really helped me, serve my customers in different ways, but also conduct follow-up without missing anyone. And I can still customize my follow-ups in different ways for everyone, which is so nice. So it's hard to remember a time before Project Broadcast because I still can't believe I did what I did, but it just wasn't, again, as efficient. And certainly with Project Broadcast, there are other ways I've been able to serve my customers. So that has definitely made my life easier for sure.
So how do you use Project Broadcast? Do you have like a campaign, or walk us like step by step how you do your customer care with that?
Yeah, so I have a couple different campaigns depending on the customer. If it's a customer from a party, I have a separate campaign for that. If it's a customer that just placed an order without, being in a party, I have a couple different texts I like to send. So that's a separate campaign I have for those customers. And then I also have a repeat customer campaign. Just again, I want to make sure I'm still doing my due diligence with follow up and making sure that products are delivered. There aren't any questions, anything else I can help with. So a couple different campaigns that I utilize in terms of follow up specifically.
And then is it like a 2 plus 2 plus 2, like a 2 days, like thank you, or 2 week checking in? Like what's your format?
So I usually do a thank you within like a day or two message. And then the follow up, I also will like, which isn't part of the campaign, but I will sit and I will send a tracking link because I know people like emails are flooded this day and age, which is, again, I love email as well, but people are like, oh, thank you so much. And so I send that tracking link, and then I sometimes within the campaign, it will be a little bit delayed in terms of when they get their order, but I'll have a separate text for, hey, did your order arrive? Anything missing? Anything damaged? Just kind of checking in. Yeah, and the timing and the spacing is all a little different, again, kind of depending on that customer campaign. And then I follow up later, like, have you used your products? What questions do you have? With Norix, we have a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, so I like to check in before that. I learned a good lesson about not doing that. So I have implemented that into my campaigns. Like, hey, we're coming up on this. Like, again, can I help you with anything? Answer any questions. There's anything, not right with the product, like let me know how I can help you. And then I have a couple other follow-ups after that. Just again, are you loving your products? And then a little bit about like how to care for your microfiber as well, instructions for deep cleaning as well. So it's a multi-series campaign across all three customer types. And again, they look a little bit different depending on that customer campaign, but pretty much that's the general flow.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Do you just use Project Broadcast for follow-up, or do you do like monthly reach outs? And if so, what does that look like?
So it varies a little bit. So I love having my customers tell me how they want to hear from me, not as a way to necessarily increase like conversation, but I don't. I want someone to like choose how they hear from me and not just get all these texts unsolicited. So I ask my customers to tell me how they want to hear from me. So that's like first and foremost, because I will send anywhere from like maybe 5 to 6 messages a month, just kind of depending on like what people are interested in. So at a high level, I'll send Monday like motivation texts. So every Monday, I have a select group of customers that will get texts from me. I'll send out usually once a month. I've just kind of restarted this up. I send out a couple of tips. So that's a once a month text to people that just kind of want a couple of tips for some unknown products or maybe some different ways to use products that you have in your home. Again, I love being able to have multiple uses for products. That's like one of my favorite things, obviously. So I love that. I send out I call it a monthly newsletter update. So just kind of what's going on for the month. Like, here's what I know that we have going on for specials, deals. Be on the lookout for some of that. So I send that, and I like to send like a little personal letter. So I have select customers that get that from me. I like to do a monthly giveaway. So answer this question or this question, get an entry into the drawing, and then I will follow up the next month with the winner. Trying to think. Sometimes like if there's flash sales or specials, there's a separate tag I have for customers that will get that update. Those are, I would say, probably the the main ones that I can think of that are, pretty regularly. I do have like a separate campaign that like I'll put together for just sending out like updates on like limited edition products or new products, and I'll use other tools to help share a little bit more about what those products are versus just like here's a text with some information. So I like to again bring them somewhere else to have them learn more for those that are interested.
So I know you have your Oh My High site. Do you include
Do.
email marketing from there into that, or is your communication basically through Project Broadcast?
It's basically through Project Broadcast because I haven't hit quite a year yet on Oh My High, but I do have like just a simple campaign set up right now through Oh My High for email marketing. But that's one area in the future I want to spend more time and like expand towards, as well as do more in email and give my customers more options there.
So how do you run your business? Are you mostly online? Do you do home parties? And is Norwex like a hostess rewards party planning? Okay, okay. So
Yep,
how do you
Norris is
mostly
Hostess
run
Rewards.
your business? Okay.
So I've only done online. So I've
Okay.
only done online parties. Yep. So from the get
Wow.
go, just with as many people as that I know that are out of state. So that's what I've done. It's worked well. There's still a couple times where I would like to do some kind of a in home event or gather at a friend's house. So that may come. One of the reasons why I love direct sales though is the last I would say maybe dating back to 2022. The last 4 years, I've been traveling back to Minnesota. Very grateful, first of all, very grateful to be able to travel back and be with family and friends. But we've had a lot going on in our lives between losing family members, and then both my sisters got married within 13 months of each other. So being able to go back and be a part of most of the events has been like so important to me. So my business has really fluctuated year to year. So my party calendar hasn't looked consistent, and I know that. I think that's something that, I think takes a while to, sit into self-awareness of, okay, I'm not bringing in the sales, but why? Well, my party calendar is slow, or I don't have as many parties coming up, or whatever it may be. So
I love that you say that because I mean, direct sales to me is about prioritizing your life around your business, not your business around your life, right?
yeah,
So it can ebb and flow. And like you said, as long as you're aware and you're not saying, well, why didn't I sell $2,000 this month? Well, because you prioritized life, right? You had events that you had to attend and your business took the back seat. But what I also love is that when you're ready, you just pick it up and go, right?
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I do love, again, kind of talking with that flexibility. Like there's just a lot. I'm someone who likes to schedule content. So I'm a content scheduler with my Facebook groups. And then I really love with Oh My High, with the blogs I've put together, being able to like sit down and even like schedule some of that out ahead of time too. I still feel like, okay, I'm like doing the work, I'm putting in the time. It's on my time that I, do this, but I can still serve my customers in different ways by, making the conscious effort to sit down and be consistent, whether again, it's certain posts or different blogs I like to share and update and stuff. So, scheduling, it's a big part of my systems as well, I would say.
I think that's so
Yeah.
smart to
Mm.
focus on the website and the blogs too, because those will be there forever. And I find that the blogs are such a great resource. So if someone's like, hey, how do I use this cloth? You'll be like, hey, I wrote a blog on this. Like, here's the link. Then you're driving people to your website and it just becomes this amazing library of resources. So I think that's smart to focus on that versus the very, very short lived Facebook posts.
Well, not only
Yeah,
that, yeah, you could always take that blog and turn it into 5 or 6
Yeah,
different Facebook posts,
right.
right?
right. I think
Yeah.
that's still something that I'm, again, not even a year yet into Oh My High. And that's probably one of the things I still sit here and I'm like, oh, I wish I would have made that jump sooner.
Yeah.
Um, and as someone who works in a specific niche of digital marketing, I'm on websites every single day. So
Mhm.
I know how they work. I mean, I know how they work from a, maybe a little bit of a lower technical standpoint, but I know the importance of them. And so it's something that I just see unlimited potential. And that's like the best thing too, is just knowing that there's so much more I can do, and I'll get there. It will come. I have to keep on reminding myself it will come. But yeah, it's such an additional, like, amazing tool to have and be able to share with my customers.
Yeah, I think it's probably one of the best investments in your business that you can make is to have your own website.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So I'm going to ask you a question because I had this question the other day, and I think you might be the perfect one to answer this. Why why would somebody need their own personal website if their company already gives them one? Like what benefit do you see from that?
I can put my own, like, brand and, like, voice to it and my face. Something that I was really good at, I would say, like, in the beginning part of my direct sales business, was doing a lot of, like, photos and, like, trying to include myself in there in a lot of the things I would share. Again, life has happened, so I'm trying to get back into that, but it's given me a place just to, like, let my customers see me as well a little bit outside of, like, my business, and just share, like, who I am. And my website is actually, as of today, we're in a little bit of a transition process,
We all
Mhm.
are.
but, like, I'm so excited, and Lisa was absolutely, my gosh, gonna try not to lose it, but just absolutely incredible, with helping me think through my next iteration and vision for my website. And I'm so excited for, like, what's to come and, like, what I'll be sharing on there moving forward. Just the potential, for whatever you wanna do, for whatever you wanna share, a little bit of direct sales, personal life, just having that digital footprint, like we just talked about, outside of, social media platforms, because we're fighting algorithms and everything else as well. So, being able to have, more freedom to, do some different things and share different types of content as well on our websites, and offer different things, product guides, maybe other resources that you have found helpful, in your life as well, outside of your direct sales business. So, there's just opportunity beyond opportunity.
I love looking at other people's Oh My High sites too. And Lisa's is on like an open tab all the time because she's my inspiration. I'm like, "Oh, I like that. Okay, how did she do that?"
And it's like I've seen the little sneak peeks. I haven't been on her website recently, but I know you're going through a rebrand as well. So I'm so excited, and it is really great because I think we can all have our own websites, but we can also learn from each other as well, which I absolutely love. Again, from my professional background, it's looking at indirect or direct competitors for a client, and there's always something to learn. And then specifically what I was doing was A/B testing. So again, not to that point yet, for oh my high necessarily, but again, it's just nice to have other inspiration and what can I do differently, or hey, I kind of like this layout, like maybe I should go look and see if that, go check out that layout for my own website or something like that.
And I love the one thing that I absolutely love about having your own branded website is that direct sales is built truly on building that relationship, that know, like, and trust factor with your customers, right? And what better way to get them to know a little bit about you and who you are and what you offer them than to send them to a place that tells them all about you, right?
Exactly.
Sending them to your e-commerce site, all they're getting is, okay, I like this product, so go buy it. There's no personal connection, right?
Yeah, what I use, why I like to use it, before and after photos, or again, the possibilities are endless. Like, I'd love to even include, like, other testimonials I have from, like, customers, like, someone like you had this challenge, and they tried this product, and, like, now they can't live without it, kind of, testimonial. So I mean, there's just beyond. Again, the options are just there are so many options for just, customizing that experience for your customers that they're not going to get from your company branded website.
Mhm.
And even like you just said, like the third party validation. Like
Yeah.
that is huge, right? Emily
Hmm.
helped me with this and these are the results I've seen. Like you don't get that on your e-commerce site, right?
Right. Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're with Norwex and Zaya. Is there any other direct sales companies you were with ever?
No. Nope.
Okay.
So I attended like a few parties here and there. I would also like growing up, but yeah, never got into any other direct sales companies until 2019. So definitely saw like and attended parties from like from someone that hosted at their house or neighbors down the way had a party, but 2019 was my first time, getting into direct sales myself.
And what made you say yes?
I was just gonna say, I'm curious now.
Why?
What?
Yeah. So it's interesting. So I first became a Norwex customer in 2016. And little did I know I was going to be laid off a couple of weeks later. Oh, first round of layoffs for me, and so that was just a really interesting time in my own life personally, and then figuring out what those next steps were. And then it took a little bit longer for me to get back into it. My grandpa passed away unexpectedly in 2017 after a three 3 month battle of stage 4 lung cancer. So um, that was really hard. That was my first loss of a grandparent. And if you can't tell, family is so important to me. Even though I'm out of state, and trust me, I never thought I'd leave the Midwest. So it's a whole nother story for another time. But um, that really took a toll on me. I think more than I intended and expected. Between losing him and then eventually starting a new job, took a while to get into like maybe even thinking about it. Credit to my upline. I love her dearly. She just kept on asking, like, again, no pressure, but you love the products. You're supporting me. You're buying them, but like, would you want this at a discount? So, I was actually getting ready to host a party for her, and we were in the middle of it. And she's like, "Are you sure? Like, are you sure you don't want to join? Like, you would be so great. You're doing such a great job again, like, as the host for this event." And I'm like, okay, why not? Like, again, what do I have to lose at this point? So, it took, I don't know how many times she asked me, but I mean, I would say at least half a dozen, over the course of those couple of years. So, I am so glad I said yes. The opportunities and the people and the events and things that I've kind of come across over the last how many years have just been a blessing in my life, considering all of what happens outside of direct sales, and just something that I get to look forward to. So I don't have, I mean, I have so many great things I can just credit because of direct sales.
All right. So we spoke about, how you work your business in off social platforms like Project Broadcast and Oh My High. What does your social presence look like? Where are you on social? Like what platforms do you use? Do you have a group? All of the things.
So again, I'm the first to admit I've never been one that posts a lot on social, and that's where I'm not consistent. And again, I know that. So personally, I do use Instagram and Facebook just to kind of post my own personal life here and there, share different things. Sometimes I will share, maybe 1 or 2 times a month I'll share different things that are going on with Norwex and or Zaya, just depending again what's going on. But I know that's something that I could definitely grow in and work towards from that aspect, and just sharing more that way. I will use Facebook stories as well from time to time. I'm probably more consistent with that than anything else. But for my customers, though, I do have private Facebook groups. So been managing a couple of different groups. I have one for each of my businesses. I have one for my team as well for Norwex. And then maybe another story for another time, or we could talk about it. I did choose to, I think it was summer of 24. I decided to actually stop running one of my private groups on Facebook. Um, So, and then I ended up restarting a group in January of 25. So I took about a 6-month break. But that was just kind of an interesting like aha that kind of came out. I wouldn't say it came out of nowhere, but it was something I was thinking about and praying about for quite a while.
Yeah, let's dive a little bit deeper into that because I'm
Okay.
curious because I did something similar and I tried to transition my group to a business page and because I didn't want to post in multiple places and I went back to my group only to close it down about a year later.
Hey everyone, just a quick pause to thank today's sponsor, CinchShare. CinchShare is a social media scheduler designed for direct sellers and creators alike. It's your go-to tool for planning, scheduling, and simplifying social media right from your phone. Built to take away the overwhelm, it lets you upload your own content, use a ready-to-share library, schedule across multiple platforms, or post on the go using the CinchShare keyboard. Want to learn more about CinchShare or grab a free 30-day trial? Visit lisadoc.com/CinchShare. Now back to the episode.
Okay.
So dive into that. Tell us like what was your aha and why you went back.
So I decided I was just trying to kind of I don't want to say keep up with the times, but again, I wanted to give my customers different options for staying connected with me. Um, I felt that I was having problems like just even giving value to the group. I was leaning a lot into data and analytics, which sometimes that doesn't always do well for me, but um I just wasn't feeling like based on conversations I was having that I was having more conversations offline than I was in that one group. So I decided to give my customers different options, which really helped me kind of expand where more of what I'm doing now in Project Broadcast. So I officially closed down that group in the summer of 24. I also felt like I was just burnt out, um, which is interesting because I had at that point I had made sure that I was, clocking my time. Like how much time am I spending? Like I don't even know. Like I didn't know how much time I was spending on all the activities cuz it's not just scheduling Facebook posts and things of that. I mean there's just more that's involved than that. So I was just exhausted and I don't know if part of that was just like my own life as well and what was going on, but it was just it was so difficult for me to feel like I was showing up with value. So decided to close it down, gave some different options to still stay in contact with me. The one didn't work out like I thought it would maybe, would work out. I think again, like anything else, it's really hard to start something new. And if people aren't as familiar with that other platform or other tool, you know, you really got to be able to spend the time to learn it and understand how it works. And again, actively check that when people are, still checking Facebook and on Facebook for different reasons. So I decided back in, again, January of 2025 to bring it back. I had a couple customers that were just like, I really miss your group. I miss what you were doing. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, sometimes we just need that reassurance, even if we're not seeing it in the data or comments or conversations. So again, I still have those moments today where I'm like, okay, you know, is it still worth it? But again, it's something that my customers want. And again, as we evolve through technology and everything else, I know that everything kind of looks different too with how people are spending their time. So I just have to keep that in mind and just know at the end of the day, I'm doing this to continue to add different value to my customers' lives and serve them.
I love that because I could see your like full-time job coming into play there with the A/B testing. Offer
Oh,
this, offer that, offer this, offer that. Yeah.
yeah.
So I love
Yeah.
that. As you were talking, I'm like, yep, yep. There it goes. There's the tie, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah, that's where again it's hard because again with my background it's like I like to we use data and analytics to make decisions in addition to research and like kind of what else is going on in the industry. And so again that's where I was like I'm using analytics to see what is going on, and again looked at a couple different time periods to understand like my group and how it had evolved and everything. And but one thing I probably didn't do that I should have done looking back is like poll my customers and like take the time to either send out like, a short, poll quiz for them to answer or have conversations with them just one-on-one. Um, that may have changed my course of action then. But, again, part of life in general, right, is we make decisions and we learn from them, and we gain maybe a different perspective based off of decisions that we do make.
I always struggle with the polls. I'm in the same place. Like, I have my Facebook group. It has a lot of members. How many of them are active? Well, we did the analytics a couple weeks ago, and I found out that there were more active than I thought, because to me, active is the people who comment and like and share, and that number is very small, but they're like my best customers. And that's how I'm connected in there, and they look forward to, the things that I share. And but if you do a poll in there, then the people responding are the people who are on Facebook. So I'm always like, where do you do the poll so that everybody sees it at the same time on like a third party or a unbiased platform? And there isn't anything like that. So if you poll them in email, they're gonna be like, oh yeah, I like email. So I always struggle with that. So my answer is just, keeping that Facebook group going, doing email marketing, doing social media, YouTube, like all the platforms except for TikTok. I'm not getting on TikTok.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and I just want to say thank you for talking about that on the podcast, because again, I'm really behind on my podcasts, but that is one that I did catch. And I went back into analytics, because with this group being roughly a little over a year old, I really haven't tried to look into that as much and just focus on other things as well in my business. So I did take a look at that, and I may not be seeing it in different ways, like you said, but just like looking at the active part was just like, okay, like that was just like a little bit of reassurance that I
Yeah.
needed at this time. But I feel like, again, now compared to then, I have a better like cadence and like pattern of things, of like how I'm sharing things, and very like scheduled in terms of the types of content I'm sharing, on those different days. So, yeah, I mean, it's very interesting. And in terms of the poll, something that I was thinking about, because it's something that I haven't fully transitioned away from. I need to. It's, again, a work in progress to move more to Oh My High, but I do use another platform to like share information really quickly as well. And it's really easy to put together like something really quickly and just like send out like questions through that. And if I would have done that, I probably would have sent that over via text to multiple people, like multiple customers,
Mhm.
even those maybe not in my Facebook group, just to get a better sample size population of, like what's the vibe? Like what are we feeling? How do you want to hear from me? Is this providing value? Do you have other ways of, or other things you'd like to see more often? And I did that recently. I like reached out to like 3 or 4 of my group members, and I just said, hey, like, I appreciate you being here. I really do. Like, what do you want to see from me? And I was, first of all, shocked that I got answers, because I didn't think I would get answers. And like, they shared things, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, I just got the reassurance that I needed. Like, oh, thank you for sharing that, because I actually wouldn't have thought that would be something you're interested in. Something that I've written down that I want to do a little more often, maybe once a quarter, maybe a little bit more, is like, actually just take the time, send a couple personalized messages out to my customers in that group, and be like, hey, how can I serve you better? Like, what do you want to learn more about? Or what feedback do you have? That was so eye-opening. And it's even kind of changed the course in terms of like what I'm sharing now. And it's great, because they have now informed me what they want to learn about. So great. Now I have like my topics. I can just go out and put together that content for them. So,
What did they want to learn? What did they respond?
so I had one customer share that she wanted to learn more specifically about some of our pet products. And I was like, perfect. I said, I already do like a Saturday spotlight, and I'm like running through our catalog and like running through all the products. I said, I will focus on pet stuff here very soon. So I've started putting those into play, which is really great. And then just following up with her like, hey, just wanted to make sure that you saw this. Not every week, but just a little bit here and there. Like, let me know if you have any questions. I had another customer that said, spring cleaning is coming up soon. Do you think you could share stuff within the next couple of, I did this early January, she said the next couple months. And I said, oh, absolutely. So I started doing like a little, let's prep for spring cleaning. Or maybe you're someone who, you're going to be gone for spring break. So, let's share these tips now so you can be ready. Or if you decide you need a different product, right, for maybe a project that you have long overdue, just pushed off, they have the time to actually, talk to me about a recommendation or, hey, do I actually have this product? Is it sitting in my closet? Something like that. So I did a little bit of a different take on that as well. And then I had just another customer that just said, I'm interested in just learning like more, like give me some more statistics and data and facts. And so I've slowly been kind of sharing different facts and things as well, just about the industry in general and with our health and everything as it relates to chemicals. So just very, again, a lot of different things I didn't think I would get. So it was just really, really helpful. And again, that's why I'm like, okay, I need to do this a little more often and just make sure I kind of circle through everyone and get feedback.
Love that.
Love that. All right, Emily, it's time for you to tell us. Basically, I think Susan prepped you for this. I always ask, if you have a favorite quote or a piece of advice that you think every direct seller needs to hear.
So I told Susan I was going to share a quote, but I think I'm actually going to share a piece of advice because I actually got this advice. This piece of advice came from a virtual event I attended by Kristen Boss a couple of years ago. And it was, are you time blocking like your calendar? And actually, do you also have an idea of how much time you're spending? So I know I kind of mentioned that earlier, but so again, it's so interesting because full-time job, I do track my hours in terms of how much time I spend on different projects and what that looks like. And there's paid tools, but there's also free tools as well. So I've been using a free tool to clock my hours so I can really see, okay, I spent this much time doing this. And I'm not just kind of pulling out a random answer. The weeks go by so fast. So it's,
And when you try to estimate, you're probably way off. Like,
Yeah.
even like, scrolling social media, we're like, oh, like 15, 20 minutes. It's like hours. Like, you don't even
Well,
know where time is going.
And honestly, it's really helped me be intentional. Like there's time to scroll and there's time to gather inspiration and, whatever. But sometimes I also like to set a timer so it doesn't turn into X amount of time. But yeah, having being able to actually, I mean, there's a couple different ways you can do it, but I actually like setting a timer in this free tool so I can actually like start and stop and stay focused on whatever I'm doing. There's no pivoting of tasks. It's not answering a Facebook message or answering a text from Project Broadcast. It's nope, I'm working on this specifically, and there's a time and a place for that. So really, like knowing how much time you spend on things, it is very eye-opening.
Okay, what's the tool?
I was going to say, I use Toggle and I absolutely love Toggle. So I'm
Never
curious
heard
to
of
know
it.
what you use.
Clockify?
Yeah. It probably works similar to Toggle, but yeah, it's a game changer because I have to track hours, billable hours for when I'm working with Oh My High. And if I didn't have that, I would probably be underestimating my hours like crazy. Because at the end of the month, I look at my time, I'm like, wow. I didn't realize I was spending that much time. But yeah, it's like as soon as I sit down to work, I put the tracker on. And then as soon as I'm done that task, turn it off and it just starts adding your hours up and you'd be surprised. So I'd go and take a look at either one of those tools that we just mentioned because it is eye-opening, especially if you want to track what you're doing in what business and how much time you're spending, because we do often look and say, oh, I've spent only 20 minutes on that, or I've spent like 2 hours prepping for this. And it's like, no, it's 10. You spent 10 minutes. That's why you got the results you got, right?
Mentally, it feels like that 2 hours. But yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. Like, it's nice because I can even break it down by like different tasks or projects. And it, you can get hyper specific, that data analytics side of things, or you can just, overall in general. But I think it's really important to know, which like you just mentioned, Lisa, it's helpful because it's like, well, am I getting the results I want or not? And if I'm not, okay, like where am I spending that time then? And what needs to change in order to get the results I want?
Yeah, I need that. I'm glad you shared that.
Yeah.
All right. Now we need to know where to find you.
Well,
Do you have your links on your Oh My High page? Your social links on your Oh My High?
I think I do. I
Yeah,
gotta
I'm pretty
again.
sure you do.
It's been a while since I've actually because I set that up immediately. That was like so helpful. Like to have again, I'm a checklist
Mhm.
girl, so like step by step. So I'm sure I do. I'm sure that's where
Yeah,
it
so
is.
just
But
share your Oh My High site and then they'll find you.
there we go. EmilyMunns.com.
We
There we
love
go.
the names. It's so easy. LisaDuff.com, EmilyMunns.com, SusanLarimer.com. There you go.
Yeah. Well, again, thanks to Lisa.
So-
That's some of the recent changes and everything. So I just got my domain switched. So
Nice.
much easier. EmilyMunns.com. So
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Emily. Well, we thank you so much for joining us on this episode. And I'm sure the listeners were taking notes. I know Susan's like, oh, I'll take note of that app for sure.
Shopify.
And we thank you again for joining us again on this week's episode of The Other 99%. And we'll see you again next week. Take care, everyone. Bye.
That's a wrap for today's episode of The Other 99%. We just want to say thank you. It truly means the world to us that you're here. Lisa and I absolutely love creating these episodes for you, and we're so grateful to have you in our community. If you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to like, share with a friend, leave a review, and subscribe so you never miss a new episode. We drop fresh content every Tuesday. Got thoughts, questions, or ideas? Leave us a comment. Want to be a guest on the show? We would love to chat with you. Apply by clicking the link in the show notes. Thanks again for spending time with us today, and we'll catch you on the next episode of The Other 99%.